So I'm really
All right,
appreciative.
I will need you to put off your camera. Okay, put off your camera so that the network can be. All right, now recording start. So. In our last class, I was just trying to set you up for the semester, right? And then we were trying to get set for the semester. I wanted to know how best to make it up, okay? And I was giving you the approach to this course. I told you all that you will need to, I will need you to take this course from what you already can see in your environment, okay? Um, don't do that. Good. I will need you to take this course from, understand this course from what you can see in your environment. When you go outside, when you look at the news, when you go on maybe any media platform, social media platform, news, newspaper, what do you see there? How do you see things, different sections of your society relate to themselves? I want you to bring that knowledge into this course, okay, so that you can understand those things better, at least from a perspective where you have to make decisions. What kind of decisions? Decisions as number one, a business manager, right? Then number two, as a business manager in the midst of all the other businesses, right? And then that's it. So you have your singular business unit, which may be a small one or a big one, as the case may be, very big. Okay, even if it's as big as Dangote Refinery, it's one business unit. I hope you understand that. So imagine that you are the owner of Dangote Refinery. Now, also imagine that you still have NNPC there. You still have the marketers, the petroleum marketers. They're outside, but they are all businesses on their own. You still have the government also, and you have the society as well. Okay, so all of these things are considerations that you have to learn to make when running this course. And in our last class, in our last class, we also did a quick definition of those three terms. Who can remind others of what we said? Let's take comments from people now. We said B, G, and S, business, government, society. We defined society first, right? So, and then we defined business and government in the context of the society. So, who can help us with those three definitions? Very quickly, if I don't get any answer within, if I count 1 to 10, I'll move on. One, okay, two, three. Maybe this is 5 marks. I'm going to dash somebody. Sorry, I don't dash 5 marks in TLC. Okay, four, five. I'm counting down now. All right, who can tell me what we defined in our last class? In our last class, we defined business, government, and society, but we began our definition from the society. Okay, let's go back up. We started defining the society first. Why? Why did I say that? We did that because both business and government are part of the society. Society is just like the mother that covers everything. It's like the house where everybody lives in, both business and consumers and the government. Okay, so I said what makes a society is not just people living together. No, there must be things that they share that is making it possible for them to live together. Those things are usually expressed in the form of ideas. Okay, and then the resources that they have, and then the systems that they have put in place to resolve their issues or facilitate their things. Okay, it could be religious ideas, it could be cultural values, it could be language, it could be anything at all. So that's why we have these things broken down into into ideas, materials, and institutions. So these institutions now, We're referring to those systems or patterns. Like we have the legal system in Nigeria now. Okay, every society has their own legal system. They have the systems that they have put together to help them resolve issues. Okay, when we come to legal institutions, you will see that. I think there's a topic on that. The materials in Nigeria now, one of the things that's binding Nigeria together now is the oil, nothing more than that. Otherwise, okay, one of the things that's keeping Nigeria, apart from that, the land and then the water, agriculture, all of those things are things that are putting people together, keep them together. And then societies are bound by their ideologies. What do we believe? What do we hold as values? What do we hold as things that are right or as things that are wrong? Now, in amongst these institutions, we have business. So I helped us to look at this definition in the BGS context. Take note of this term in the BGS context. Okay, okay. So all the banks, they are all institutions of the society. All the production centers, all the selling, buying, distribution centers now, that's what we come to buying and selling centers. They are all different economic units. So they all make up economic and financial institution. But when you are defining business at any point, see this word profit, make sure it's inside. Then the government is also another institution now of the society. But this one is not the one that converts resources. It's actually the one that maintains order so that it will be possible for those resources to be converted, right? Maintains order, maintains smooth operation, and also protect the people, protect their values, and so on and so forth. So today we're going to be looking at this field. Why? Okay, why should we be studying it? When you look at it from your BSAQ301, you should be talking about strategy, how that you are faced every day with issues that are arising from society. You're a businessman, but you are hearing prices of issues going anyhow. The government is coming up with new lending rates, new lending policies. Okay, government is coming up with new tax laws. I hope you all know the new tax. You know that there's a new tax law that will be enforced from January, right? I think there have been several modifications, but I don't understand that law anyway. But I need to review it again personally to look at it again. Okay, so it means you cannot just stay. It's not possible for you to just stay and be doing your thing. Something must hit you. It's either you hit something or something hits you. That thing that will hit you will either come from. I hope you're getting the way I'm putting it back. Yeah, that thing that will hit you will either come from the government or from the business world. That's why this field is very, very important. Or to come from the society. I mean, even your neighbors will come out and say, your poultry, this poultry that you're running for many years, today that they know that it's smelling them, it's disturbing them in the neighborhood, you must close it down. Something must just hit you or you hit something. So this course is meant to bring you to that awareness so that as a business, you need to be one step ahead while you are doing your business, you need to be one step ahead. Okay, fine. So that was why we started by looking at the society. We've always described the society, right? We've always no, that's not what I want. Okay. Sorry, please pardon me. I just want to make sure I can manage two screens at the same time without having to resize them. Good. So like I said, stop that now, stop it. All right. So like I said, yeah. Oh, okay. I think it's even better the other way around. Yeah. Good. Confirm that you can see my screen still. Yeah, thank you very much. So, yeah, I say so you have to be awake. Your eyes have to be open, wide open, so that you will not say you did not know when they said subsidy is gone, right? You also, yeah. So stuff like that. Let's go on, please. Okay. So we've been able to establish that there are different. Okay, there's a strong relationship between the government and your business. There's also a strong relationship between the society, the thing that you might call non-business perspectives of society. There's a strong relationship between that one and your business. And number three, there's also a strong relationship between your the society and your business. See all of them here looking at us. Okay. The other business that you see, there's a strong relationship between them. You, your supplier, your whatnot, there's a strong relationship between you and all of them, your business and all of them. Okay. So that's where this course stems from. Okay. So you have this note, study it as we go down, right? Okay. Now, when you look at it from what you have learned in BSAQ 201 in the area of strategy, or what we call strengths of your business, strength and weakness, you're going to those are the things that make up your external environment. And in your external environment, what you have there are opportunities and threats. You can see it here. What you have there are what opportunities and threats. And for you to be able to take advantage of opportunities and also to minimize threats, then you need to know your own strength from inside. Inside, you need your strength. Your strength is used to take advantage of opportunities, at the same time to also minimize your. So, this alone, everything I've said now answers why. Why is the field of BGS important to managers? Um I just gave you a very short. Okay, I think it's gonna work this way. So I wouldn't even need to be using two screens anymore. Okay. So why is the field of BGS important to you as a manager? Right? Now, so that's what we'll be looking at, and we'll do that very quickly. In our courseware, they give us three different areas, three different behaviors, three different characteristics of the field. And in my opinion, those are the things that make it so important to managers. Okay. And we said number one, it is interdisciplinary. I hope you got what I said. That field is what?
Sir, we
Inter.
didn't hear you, sir.
I'm saying it again, don't worry. I'm marking it on my screen also if you can see. This field of BGS is what? Interdisciplinary.
Interdisciplinary.
That means it cuts across many disciplines. That's what it simply means. It's not a matter of science. It's not a matter of biology alone. It's not a matter of business alone. It cuts across any discipline you want to think about. Okay, and now let me explain this a bit further. Okay, now we said now in the society we have many different disciplines: medicine, doctors, lawyers, law. Right? We have soldiers, every discipline you can think of, chemistry, discipline of chemistry and science. They're the ones that make production, right? Production, all those bakeries, all those things. What they work with there is chemistry science, and the science of the knowledge of chemistry, on how you can mix this and that to produce this, produce rubber, produce materials. We also have agricultural science, the ones that produce food, right? These are all different disciplines. So when we say BGS, business, government, and society, it's not just the shops that we're talking about. That's what this means. Now you're getting it now. It's not just the shop, the shops, the shago, the shops where they sell things. That's not what we're talking about now. We're talking about all the different disciplines, okay? All the different disciplines that you have in the society, okay? The screen is being shared. I don't know if you cannot see the screen. I don't know what device are you using. Someone is requesting that we share the screen, but the screen is being shared right now. So good. So here, we first of all said that there are we're looking at disciplines from different perspectives. We have professional disciplines, the first one here, professional disciplines. I've mentioned that medicine, law, theology, and all of those things. Okay. We have social sciences, people that study economics, political science. You know the political issues in our country today, right? Good. Those are under political science. It's how people behave when it has to do with sharing of resources. How people behave when it has to do with demand and supply or meeting their needs when it has to do with good. Now it also affects issues that go on in natural sciences. I've given you a few examples. Physics is what has given us different kind of cars, different kind of machines today. Chemistry has given us different kind of products, okay, and other sciences that you can think of, and management sciences. So in the society, you have all disciplines. That's what it's going to say. But but these all these disciplines are all connected to the field of BGS. If you can put it that way, they are all connected to the field of BGS. They are in that same society. They contribute to the society. When you say business, you know the funniest thing about business. The funniest thing about business is that business is not the one that is producing. When you're running a bakery, you're running the bakery with business sense, but you're producing your bread with chemistry, right? Yeah, you're selling cars and automobile. You are selling cars with business sense, but those cars were produced with physics. Now you go what I'm saying, right? So that's what I'm saying now. That's what I mean. So all those things, that's what they call the object of business. So when they ask you, what do you do? What is your business about? You will say, I sell footwears. Okay. So the object of your business is what? Footwears, right? That means footwear is produced from a body of knowledge that you can find within the society, right? Good. So here, you said all businesses deal with one or more things from those other disciplines. It's either their product come from other disciplines or their method of production comes from other disciplines. And businesses they like to influence all these things that they can influence to their advantage. Okay. And that's why government comes in. Government has to come in to regulate medicine. It affects business. If government regulate drug production, it affects business. If government regulates car imports or car production or anything, it affects business. So that's why you must understand that the interdisciplinary nature of the field of BGS is one thing that makes it unique. However, people want to see it as if the discipline of management is the one that owns the field of BGS. Meanwhile, it only took that dominance, not that it's the owner of the field, okay? Especially strategic management. Like I said at the beginning, I said it's either you hit something or something hits you. That's strategic management, okay? So that is really, really strategic management. How can you strategize yourself so that something does not hit you that you don't want to hit you? Good. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing you need to know about this. I hope you understand what I just said now. The first characteristic of the field of BGS is that it is extremely interdisciplinary, meaning that it cuts across many disciplines. That means what is doing you, what is affecting your business, put it this way now. What is affecting you, what you are doing, what can affect what you're doing in your business is coming from all the disciplines. In 2020, your business had to close down because of some biological things, right? Happening even in another country. We'll see that, you will see that in another country in the second point now. But these are biological issues, ecological issues. They call it COVID, right? Your business that does not concern, you're not selling medicine, so why should your business close? You're not even selling, probably your business is you're into clothes, you're selling clothes or materials, or even rubber, selling plastic in your shop, right? But you still have to close it down because of what's happening in the field of biology. That's to tell you how much impact all the disciplines you can see in society can affect your business. That's what that means. Number two, this effect is not just a local matter, it's not a local thing. It's not you are you are in Lagos or you're in Ojo Alaba international market and you think that the only thing that no, it's not what's going on in Alaba alone that's affecting your business. That's the second point. That's what we call the global perspective. The first perspective was the interdisciplinary perspective. Now we
Perspective.
have the global perspective.
Global
One
perspective.
one thing that that makes this field so unique is that it's telling you how governments can affect your business, both your own country's government and another country's own government and governments of the world generally. Okay, it's telling you how the society can affect your business, both your own society and society in another place. Okay, it's telling you how the globe as a whole, how the world as a whole can affect what's going on in your backyard. And I hope you're getting it now. So that's one of the things now. So we said the global perspective emphasizes what now? The fact that the effect of these interactions is not just limited to your national borders. It's not just what's happening in Nigeria. Okay, it's not limited to what's happening in Nigeria. Okay, okay. Those things occur at international level, whether they are economic issues, whether they are political issues. See how the dollar. What's my business with dollar? You know Nigeria now. You cannot tell anybody that one, right? What's your business with dollar? Are you spending dollar here? Now you get what I'm saying now. So currency of countries far away. See what's going on here. See how it's dealing with our economy to the point that inflation and prices are doubling and doubling as as their own currencies rise. Even if our currency is never moving, the moment dollar just keeps going up and up and up, our own currency will start. Price of things for here will start going anyhow. See COVID. I've given an example of COVID. Okay. There are many other issues. Seriously, that are causing all of these things. Okay. Now, let's look at this global thing. This global thing. One more. You know, the global issue here, look at this paragraph. The global issue is the type where there's no government. There's no one world government. At least now for now. Even though there are serious plans to make sure that there's one world government. No government to regulate what can happen. At least within Nigeria, the government can say, hey, do this business, don't do this business, do business like this within the United States, within
Hmm.
Ghana, within Cameroon.
People have started
But
again.
even let's say Africa now, within Africa, no government can say anything. Okay, confirm that you can hear me. Oh,
It's really breaking now.
it's breaking again. Oh my god. Okay, let me reposition. Which one should I reposition now? The one that has the Wi-Fi, right? Okay, so I
It's
said
like your network is breaking.
Okay, let me reset. Let me see if I can reset.
No, but it's not breaking here. Oh. You have,
The network from your
Yo,
own
it's
end.
clear now. It's clear now. It's clear now.
it's clear from my own side.
It's clear. It's clear
Maybe
from
their
our end here.
network.
Maybe it is from their end.
Okay.
I think the
Okay, so
network
from
is
my end, I have
from your
from my
end is
end,
okay.
I've done a reset.
From
So
their
from
own
your
end.
end to do a reset, okay, it's either
Please,
you go on
everyone
flight.
mute, please. Everyone mute so that we can help ourselves.
Okay, so it's either you go on flight mode and come back, and you go on flight mode for 2 seconds and come back, so your network can be refreshed, or you go off the call and come back again. That's another way to help your network. Okay, so we're trying to look at the characteristics of this international, this global perspective, the side from which you are looking at matters. That's what we call perspective, right? So you're looking at it now from a global stance, not just as a local, from a local perspective. That's what it says. So there's no central government at that level. So now that's what has led to what's called global capitalism. So if you know that going to Nigeria, you can manipulate your way there and get what you want to get that you cannot get in China, for example. If you know that the Nigerian people and the Nigerian government will oblige you and you will go to Nigeria and leave China alone. That's what global capitalism is about. Okay. Just go there and do what you want to do and get out. Okay. That's how we got oil companies rolling themselves down into Africa, into Nigeria. They break laws. After all, the laws are not the same laws as they have it there in the United States. Anyway, this is what they call global capitalism. Who has the money decides what happens, where he goes, where he can do his business, and then it works. They call it direct investment. It comes with its own benefits. It comes with its own challenges. So here I've listed out 4 benefits and 4 challenges of global capitalism. What is global capitalism? Before we go on, global capitalism actually is, you know what capitalism is, right? Where anybody is free to do any business that he wants to, as far as he has the money to do it. That's what it simply means. At a global scale now, any company, anybody is free to launch any business in any country where he's allowed, as far as he has the money to do it the way he wants to even do it. Okay. And that has brought us a few things. Number one, okay, it has brought extraordinary wealth creation, right? Number two, there's new material comfort. And even now, as we're having this class now, I can guarantee that some of you are lying down, man, on your bed, putting your phone up and looking at it, right? Anyway, material comfort. Yes, I've seen Madam Farida. Those are the ones that are lying down. Those of you that are laughing, you're the ones lying down. Okay, so it has brought material comfort. You see, you have exotic cars. You don't have to, you have exotic cars. You have powerful handsets. Many things now. You don't have to roast granite. You don't have to roast granules in sand anymore. You can put granules in the oven and then it's roasted. Stuff like that. Now that's what global capitalism has brought us. It has brought increased knowledge. Many things that we didn't know, that we wouldn't have known from Africa as a whole, they have come to our doorstep as a result of what? Global capitalism. And then it has brought new methods of production, as a result of what? Technology advancement, new methods. Okay. But it came with its disadvantages. I said, but it came with its disadvantages. It came with its own challenges. Ibrahim Ojali, I hope I pronounced you well. Please stay muted. I think your microphone is okay. Thank you very much. So So number one here, it has brought about exploitation. Exploitation, right? Some people say that this exploitation is what's leading to some of the insecurities in Africa and West Africa where we have all these resources. Sure, it has brought exploitation. It has brought a burden on human rights. It has imposed problems on the environment. Nigeria can testify of this a lot. Why? Because most of our oil-rich communities were the first to start suffering from oil spillage, right? That if it's not controlled, those little small some of those villages will start having their means of livelihood damaged because of oil oil drilling, oil spillage. Now it challenges diversity of values, right? We have our own values in Africa, we have our own values in Nigeria. Even this LGBTQI kind of thing, they found their way to Lagos, try to do symposium, try to sensitize people that you may be a man, but in your mind, it's not good for you to, you don't feel you should be a man, you want to be a woman. Those kind of things that happened in the United States under Biden and co, under President Biden. All of those things, they are trying to spread it across the whole world, all because of global capitalism, right? Because you feel you have the money, you can push anything you want to push. So we said two things about the field of BGS. Number one, it has an interdisciplinary perspective. Number two, it has a global perspective. And number three, it has a historical perspective. Are you thinking what I'm thinking about the historical perspective? Okay, I love the way I put it here. The way we are seeing things now in Nigeria, for example, is they are a result of the things that have happened before. And what's going to happen tomorrow is a result of what we are doing now. That's just a way to explain it, right? So it's important to know history. What is history? History is not what happened in 1960. Oh, on 1st October 1960, Nigeria has independence. That's not history. Okay? History is not what happened in 1973. Oh, NYSC came up. That's not history. History is you can say time. Another word for history could be time. The story of how things are happening through time, from the past to the present into the future. That's how it is. So your business, as you're seeing it now, you need to understand how things evolved, where dollar was $2 to $1 then, but some of you would remember all of this. Some of you who were born then, how $2 who have gotten some sense. How $2, $1 was $2. That's so. What happened? How is it going that today? So today, $1 now is $1 now is like 1,400, and that's history. So if you can see the trend from where it's coming, you can know okay where it's likely to go to. Right? You see how military governments or past governments affected what's happening now and what current governments are doing. Even the last government, you can see what the last government did that's affecting what's happening in the country now and what, stuff like that. That's what history does. The same thing with our individual lives as well. How that things actually from the past, right, are affecting what we are doing today. We said this field exists. We have to study this field because government changes in government in the past have affected changes in business, have affected businesses. Changes in society in the past have affected businesses. Okay, remember we said that something hits you or you hit something, it means things are changing. That's what it simply means. Things are changing, things are coming up. That's why they use the word development. So there are new developments in the political space, in the international space, in the business space, in the societal space, even in the behavior of people. There are new developments. There are new developments in the courses that matter. There are new developments in what people should study in school. There are new developments in knowledge. Okay, things are just changing anyhow. So put it together, we have the interdisciplinary perspective, we have the global perspective, and then now we have the historical perspective. What does the historical perspective tell us? Good. This historical perspective tells us a few things. It opens our eyes that the way this thing, the way we have it now, that's not how they've had it in the time past. There were times where there were no restrictions. Anybody can just wake up and open a bank, right, in Nigeria. But one day, one central CBN governor came up and said, all banks must have 500 million naira at least. That time, 500 million was something else. So because of that, banks started closing up. I'm just using that example for banks anyway. But what I'm saying now is the way things are connected to themselves today is not how they were in the time past. That means number two, our current ideas, our current systems, they're not the only alternative, they're not the only way of doing things. Okay. And then historical forces are uncontrollable. You just see them happening. You have to be proactive. If you want to even make changes, you're the one that will make changes intentionally. It's either you make changes or changes make you. That's what I'm saying now. Good. That's what it simply means. Okay. Corporations now cause change. I mean business now. Business. When I say corporations, right, referring to big businesses now. They're the ones that cause change, and they also adapt to change. Okay. This thing, rapid change, how things are changing. It's not only us. It's not only in this 2020 that we are having things change fast. Even in 1960, things were changing fast. It's just that we may not have noticed it then. And finally, our activities today are shaping the future. Now, if you read your courseware itself, you will see all these things in this way. But they might not be listed out like this. So I'm just helping you to bring them out like this. So I don't know if you understand everything I've discussed so far about why the field of BGS is important to managers. Excuse me. Yeah, about why the field of BGS is important to managers. And that's actually because of the interactions from all the disciplines. And those interactions are not just local, they are international as well. And then they are time bound. They're just happening. Okay. So this is the pattern I usually follow. I wish I had time. I'll try and see. We'll introduce what I call the power tussle. It's called the BGS model. Okay, so that you will see how different institutions, how at one point in time or another, different thoughts have been brought up as to who should dominate who. Is it business that should be the bosses, or the government, or the society? At what point in time? What are the perspectives? Then we'll look at issues in our topics that relate to business directly. Issues like corporate governance, corporate social responsibility, and what? Business ethics. Then after that, we'll look at issues that speak to the society directly. Issues like law. Society has laws, basic laws, and then environmental issues, okay, ecological issues that surround life, and this what they call sustainability, what they've been trying to push since, even though we know that some of them are just doing it to gain control. Some of the things they are saying are not absolutely true. Okay. And then lastly, we will look at issues that pertain to the government. Under this, we'll be looking at business laws, the business laws, yes, intellectual property laws, all those laws, law of contracts, law, all the laws that business government have brought, and then public policy. Okay. But before we jump into all this, this is one thing that you need to understand. I wish I have time. Let me even look at it. Let's look at it closely. He said a very important thing to note is that this course is studied with live examples, live cases. They call it case study. Okay, they call it what? Case study. So when you hear case study, it means they are bringing up a picture of something that has happened, or it may not be something that really happened, even in some cases. Okay, so in your courseware, you have the first case is the case of ExxonMobil. I mean, you know ExxonMobil, at least if you can't remember it as in full, you can remember Mobil. Everybody knows Mobil filling station or Mobil fuel, Mobil oil, stuff like that. Okay, I think they are still doing engine oil to today. Very good one. Okay, so let's quickly see whether we can just start a few. Let me just see whether we can start a few lines. Okay, now we'll be studying that one now. But let's just see how fast we can go. Good. All right, so let's quickly look at the ExxonMobil case. Let me see where this one is. Okay. ExxonMobil case. So if you look at your courseware, you will see some of the things that we have discussed, right? We've discussed the approaches that you should have, the interdisciplinary approach, the global perspective. Let me see what I can zoom in a little bit, just a little bit more. Yep. So you see that we've discussed the global perspective. Then we've also discussed the historical perspective, and I brought out points for you. So now let's look at the story. I just told you now that there are case studies. Okay, so look at what they wrote here. They said, as the course is gradually progressing, it is important that we look at the profile of some big international corporation. Corporations is another word for corporate body or business that is registered to be like a different person, just where we have Dangote PLC. You know, Dangote PLC is different from Aliko Dangote in the eye of the law, even though we know that Aliko Dangote is like the principal shareholder in Dangote. But in the law, there are two different persons. Issues can come up that they will say Dangote is suing, Dangote will sue Dangote PLC. Okay, so that's what we mean by corporation. A corporation is already established in the eye of the law and it's on its own, just the way UBA is separate from Tony Elumelu and so on and so forth. Good. So we're looking at some big international corporations, and the example they give to us here now is the example of Exxon Mobil. Okay, I want you to see, this is a very interesting case. I want you to see a few things that we've talked about: the perspective, the historical perspective. Historical perspective is here, the global perspective is here. But before we go on, what can you remember about Mobil? The only thing I can ever remember about Mobil is a few fuel stations in Nigeria are still called Mobil. I don't even know whether it's Mobil that's operating them or whether it's just a franchise. But I know I do see their engine oil. That's the only thing I can know now. That's remaining now about Mobil. Okay. I don't know whether they're fully functional here, but how did we get to this point? Good. So that's it now. All right. So let me rush through. Now, as we read through, you can see the global perspective, like I said, the historical perspective. You may even see the interdisciplinary perspective. But I also want you to see how influence, or less another word for influence is power in this case now. How one party is trying to influence another, how government is trying to influence business, or how business is trying to influence government, or how the society is trying to influence both business and the government, or how, just like that. See that influence. That influence is what your next topic is about. The next topic is about the models of BGS relationship, the influence. So let's read very quickly. Okay, we said ExxonMobil is the largest publicly traded international oil company. Okay. Now, although it is headquartered in Irving, Texas, and most people regard it as an American company, 69% of its sales, which were $366 billion in 2006, are in more than 200 other countries. I hope you understand what that line means. This is a global matter now. So its main business is what now? Discovering, producing, and selling oil. Oil and natural gas. That's its business. It discovers it anywhere in the world, produces it, and sells it. And it has a long record of what? Profiting more in this business than all of its rivals. That's just the introduction. Let's move on. Say ExxonMobil cannot be well understood apart from its history. Okay. ExxonMobil cannot be well understood except you study its history. That's what it's saying. It started from Standard Oil Trust. Standard Oil Trust was incorporated. That means it was registered in 1882 by John D. Rockefeller. By then, its name was Standard Oil of New Jersey. Okay. Now, let's talk about Rockefeller. Rockefeller was a brilliant strategist and an organizer who crushed competitors. Influence, crushed competitors. He believed that the end of imposing order on a youthful, rowdy oil industry justified the use of what? Ruthless means. The end is to make money, so you must do it with force. That's what he believed. So as Standard Oil grew, his values, that's his belief, is what defined. It's okay. Someone was messaging me. Okay, yeah. So that's his belief is now what shaped the way the company behaved. So the company began to behave that way. The company started doing its business with brute force. Okay, it's both spoken and unspoken. That's what's there. Okay, so we said if the values of a founder, such as Rockefeller, if the values of a founder are effective, those values, you now begin to see the values in the organization as time goes on. That's what this line is saying. Okay, once widely shared, they tend to be exceptionally long-lived and stable. Now, let's look at some of the things that Rockefeller did in his values. Number one, he emphasized cost control. Number two, efficiency. Number three, centralized organization. He wants to control everything from one place. Number four, suppression of competitors. Okay, these are the principles that they've always worked with, to the point that Standard Oil, once upon a time, had more than 90% of the American oil market. Now, that became so annoying. Look at the next paragraph. The society is coming in now. They say Standard Oil's power, the power of this company. This is what they call market capitalism model. You will see it in the next class. Standard Oil's power so offended public values so much that in 1890, Congress is like our house of our Senate. Yeah, Congress passed a law so that they can break its monopoly, make it illegal for it to be a monopoly. That law is what they call Sherman antitrust law. You see how government is interfering in business now. This is what they call dominance model. Okay, okay. We said what now? They passed a law to outlaw to break its monopoly. In 1911, after years of legal battles, the trust was finally broken into 39 separate companies. The Standard Oil Trust was broken into 39 companies because of that law. So after the breakup, Standard Oil of New Jersey still continued to exist, although it has shared 57% of its assets to create new firms. It was still the world's largest oil company as at that time, despite the breakdown. So look at the several companies that came out from it. You have Standard Oil of Indiana, you have Atlantic Refining, you have Standard Oil of California, you have Continental Oil, we have Standard Oil of Ohio, and so on and so forth. Those are the ones that came up. But in 1972, Standard Oil of New Jersey changed its name to Exxon. And then in 1999, it merged with Mobil, and then they became Exxon Mobil. But all through this time, that Rockefeller's influence was really no longer there. Okay, it was buried in the passage of time. Okay, but the action of ExxonMobil remained consistent with Rockefeller's nature. Now let's go on. Okay, we said it still had that centralized culture, that authoritarian culture. It still emphasized cost control, capital productivity, strict financial controls. Okay, profit, profit as anything. Are you learning how to use it? Okay, good. So it's 10:05. I would like to stop here. I wouldn't want this session to be longer, especially at the recording. I believe I'm setting the pace down. So you can keep going, you can just keep going, and then you see how it began to interact with other countries' governments, how other governments try to counter it, and then how, okay, society also began to counter it, and so on and so forth. Okay, I want you to read this place yourself. Maybe I'll just use it as your individual assignment. There's something I'll just pick up from you and say, identify this, and this in the ExxonMobil case. Maybe you as your individual assignment. Okay. So in our next class, we will start by looking at models of the BGS relationship. Then some of these things that you're seeing here will make sense to you. Okay, so right now I'm going to stop here. If you have any question, yeah, it's time for you to say your question, and then let's proceed. Right? Yeah, thank you very much. The floor is open, please. The floor is yours, so you can speak up if you have a question already.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Sir, I don't know. I just want to ask, like in real life, yeah,
Mhm.
how does global capitalism impact local businesses or farmers?
Or what? Or this is farmers.
Yes,
Oh, it's very obvious. Okay. Which business are you familiar with? Let's say, for example, now, let's say clothing, right? Yeah, ladies, right, like clothing a lot. You know, many of these fabrics are not from that importation itself is an influence. That's one direct influence, right? Or
yes,
the importation of styles, even the style alone self might not. It might be that we are using our local fabric, but the style is probably from the United States or from China or from somewhere. That's just an influence in itself. Okay, that one is like the nearest example in that the products are being changed almost every day because of the effect of what other people are pushing to come and sell in Nigeria. Oh, Nigeria has a large market. I hope you know that the perspective, that's the way they see us in the world, right? Nigeria has a large market. Let's go and sell goods there. Okay. Now, farming, for example, now, oh, this one has been so altered, both for the good and for the bad. Okay. And both for the good and for the bad. Fertilizers, we don't have synthetic fertilizers. Before now, our agriculture has been based on the waste that we get from our animals, right? That's what we use to fertilize our crops organically, and then they they do well. We don't even have some of all these pests that we had. And today, what do we have? We have urea, NPK. They've all been produced synthetically. They just keep pouring them into the soil, and then they also come with their pests as well. And then we also have the worst part of it now is that even we have seed now, to the point that we don't even have our own seed in the country anymore. Okay, as common as maize is, the organic maize seed is not as rampant as it used to be. And now you have to buy those seeds, and you have to buy them every year because of what they are pushing down. They're pushing it down in such a way that they want to make you to continue to buy from them. So they bring those maize seed to you. You cannot, yes, even origin. You cannot even, the maize one is fun, it's so funny that if you plant it once, when it germinate, when you finish harvesting, you cannot replant from that one because it will not even, it has only one lifespan. Sometimes they can do it to have three lifespans and so on and so forth. So this is global capitalism. As in, but when you look at the maize during harvest, you see big cobs full of giant grains. You'll be happy, but on the other hand, okay, so there's also a claim around ginger that there's that cross pollination that was done in some of the ginger that was sent to be planted in Nigeria that has killed our ginger production today, especially in Kaduna State. So now we have to rely heavily on imported ginger. And according to what we said, the imported ginger is not gingering at all. So that's where we are. Yeah, that's it. You get it now. So the imported ginger is not gingering. That's to tell you that it's not doing anything. It's not even, when we used to have ginger in Kaduna State, when you give ginger, tears will come out of your eye. You know that yes, this is ginger drink. But that was intentional. So these are the effects of global capitalism. So it's positive and it's negative. Thank you so much for these contributions. So you see the positive ones now. Okay, at a point they will say 1 hectare of land used to yield maybe 20 bags, but because of this improved seed, that's what they call it, right? Improved breed, hybrid. And our local farmers, we want to grab them and then plant. Then they will pour NPK and urea at different points in time. There are some beautiful farming practices. I actually work in the agricultural sector. That's why I'm talking like this. Okay, there are some beautiful agricultural practices, crop population, how to plant your maize close to one another. So that same 1 hectare that would have given you 20 bags before can even give you 40, 50 bags, 1 hectare of land. The farmer will be like, wow. And they think wealth has come, but it comes at a cost. So that's how it is. I hope I've answered the question. There's another question, I'll take it. And then we close. Okay, you can go on. You can go on again. Let me still hear you. Let's still hear what you have again.
Okay. So I don't know if there's difference. What's the difference? Like, how does global capitalism, how is it different from local capitalism?
Okay, thank you very much for that. Okay, the major difference between global capitalism and local capitalism, or not just capitalism now, anything global and local, lies in the fact that government influence is limited when it comes to at the global level. There's no central government that can control things. That's the way it is in Nigeria. In Nigeria, the government can decide what can be done as capitalism. Okay, if you go back into history, you remember at a point the government will say this particular industry can only be owned by Nigerians. That was when we were doing indigenization policy in Nigeria. This particular industry, no foreigner can, but if it's a free capitalism, it means anybody can just come and do what he wants. But the government restricted certain areas for certain part of Nigeria, for certain part of Nigerians, right? But at the global level, there's no central government. So as far as you know that your money can penetrate that area, let's go and do it, man. That's how it operates there. So that's where there's nobody to control what. If you can go to that same country and buy the government, just like Bill Gates is trying to do today, right? Yeah. So that's the difference. I hope I've answered you. Any other question? Oh, yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Ma. You're welcome.
Sorry, we've been trying to join the class since it's going on and off. I don't know if you can assist us to recap. But we have
Oh,
a value
oh,
of
oh,
what? Sorry,
oh.
please.
There's a recording actually. Okay. Okay. Can you access the recording? Hmm?
Not really.
You can now. I'll share it. I will create it and I will share it. It's on YouTube. Even our last class too is on YouTube. I hope you have seen it, right?
No, because I was
So
going through the LMS.
How do we access it on YouTube, please?
Because these LMS were have been on, I wasn't able to join the. So until
Let me.
I go to the WhatsApp and saw a link that brought me
Okay.
here.
Okay. Let me do
I
a quick.
just
That's the guide that we do now, very quickly, right? From your LMS. From your LMS. I hope you can still see my screen, right? From your LMS in the forum. That's the major place that our institution recognizes, right? Your forum. This is my own end. My own end might not be exactly the same as yours, but it's the same thing, right?
okay.
So from the LMS, you will see in the forum. This is the forum of today's class. This is where everybody is supposed to see the link to join.
Yes.
The one that we shared on WhatsApp was just to help you to get it fast. Okay, this one would have been sent to your email address as well. Now, when you read this carefully, you see everything you need. Like seriously. Hello, everyone. Here is the link to tonight's session on BSAQ301 Business Government Society. Then the link, right? Time 9 p.m. Give me a second. Time 9 p.m. Then we now said we shall discuss the field of BGS and why it is important to managers. Note, the forum may be graded, so ensure to attend the live discussion on Google Meet. Now look at this next one. You can access all available materials via the link. This is the link, via the link. So when you click on this link, it will take you to a Google Drive. That's what it means here. You can access all available materials via the link, https blah 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 blah. Then if you are yet to join the WhatsApp group for prompt information, please do so through this link. This will be posted every forum I create. This is the format of every forum. So when you click on this link from your LMS, it should open a Google Drive like it's opening now. Good. It has opened the Google Drive. You can see the Google Drive. In the Google Drive, see what we have. See all the materials we have. Okay, you have BSAQ301 live lecture video links. Orientation start here. Past questions. BSAQ201 live lecture video links. Past questions. Then BSAQ201 progressive lecture notes. BSAQ301 progressive lecture notes. Then they come to the PDF now. BSAQ301 Business Government Society. Okay, so these are all the materials I've been working with. Now, if you want to see the links to lectures, to video lectures, come into this one that says BSAQ301 live lecture video links. Open it. Good. And I'm opening it now. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm opening it. It's taking you to a Google Sheet that has lectures. Now, the live lecture video links. September 2025 semester, lecture 1, orientation and introduction. This is the link. You click on this link or copy it and go and paste in Google to take you to the class we had.
Okay.
I believe I've answered many people's questions now, right? You take the last class we had. We've had only one lecture in this current semester. That's why we have only one link. So by the time this lecture 2 that we are doing now finishes and is created, I'll come and add it here now. I'll say okay, lecture 2. Right?
Okay, just that the dates they were showing, they're not showing current dates. So that's why I was wondering. Some are showing 2019, 2022. No one is showing a current date.
Okay, these links now. When the look at this one gives you the current one. Okay,
Yes, sir.
if it's for the live classes that we do have that we will be having this semester, they will all come up on this semester is September semester, so you will see it as September 2025 semester. The ones for last semester are the ones here. All these ones you see, lecture 1, lecture 2, lecture 3. These are last semesters on. So they are for you in case you want to see what happened last semester. You can click. But your own lecture will be here. When we finish this
Okay.
semester and we go to next semester, January 2026 semester, we still come up here. These ones will be pushed downwards. Okay. Yeah. So that's how I do my own, so that everybody will have access to these materials at any point in time without having any issues. Okay, since the LMS studio started giving us issues, we stopped using it to record. We stopped using it to do lectures anymore. So that's where we are. I hope I've answered a lot of people's questions by now.
Yeah, but the class, the the lecture for today didn't just recap it for us. You know, it's better when you hear from the
Yes, sir.
lecturer's mouth. Yeah,
Okay, so as
makes
a
sense.
recap, right? As a recap, we're looking at the field of BGS. BGS
Okay.
means what? Business. B stands for business. G stands for government. And what? S stands for
Yes,
society. So
society.
we came from our last class where we defined Ibrahim Ojali. You might need to mute your mic. Yes, thank you. Fine. So we came from our last class where we defined those three things. We defined B, we defined G, we defined S. So you can go back to look at that. And here we looked at how important that field is and the approach. It has three approaches, right? We said number one, it has a what they call a interdisciplinary now. Interdisciplinary approach or disciplinary perspective. Number two, it has the global perspective. Okay. Number three, it has the historical perspective. That's all we're discussing since. So we said interdisciplinary perspective means that this field cuts across many disciplines, and those other disciplines have influence on business. From the global perspective, we say this influence is not just a local matter, it's an international matter, and at that level, it affects business seriously. And that's where global capitalism came about when someone was asking a question just now. And then at the third one, we talked about the historical perspective, how that behaviors through time, developments through time, is shaping what we're going to have in the future. What we had before in Nigeria many years back is what brought us to where we are today. And what we're having today is what's going to take us to where we're going tomorrow. So that's all we discussed, the summary of this class. Okay. And then we now said,
Thank you, sir.
I gave you the approach. I gave us the approach. And in that approach, I said, you're going to we're going to be breaking them down. Issues that concern business we will treat, issues that concern government we will also treat, and issues that concern the society we will also treat. And then I talked about case studies, the use of case studies, and that was how we jumped onto the example of Exxon Mobil. Full stop. Let me stop recording because I don't want it to be too long. Now it has gone beyond 1 hour, I want to believe.